I'll talk about the last job I had at Lockheed Martin, which I was, responsible for building and delivering military aircraft and weapon systems across to our U.S. government and across the world. And so you walk into this opportunity, the first woman to ever have this role. So with that comes a lot of stereotyping, right? But when I stepped into the role, I was met by a newspaper article where one of my employees had been interviewed and told the entire world basically I was not qualified to do this job. He continued to work there, by the way, don't worry about that. And so you walk into that situation, right? And so I knew that everybody in the free world knew that I didn't know how to build airplanes. And I was okay with that. And so I think to be authentic, you have to be okay knowing what you don't know. But at the same time, as our previous speaker talked about, I knew I was walking into a situation where there were several men who already thought they had the job. I knew I was walking into a situation where my employees were going to be questioning, here's this woman coming from human resources. That's where I'd spent 10 years of my career before that working in human resources. So here I am coming in to lead this multi-billion-dollar operation. Can she really do it? And I can tell you, every day I walked in there with great confidence. And they would say, can you do this? Absolutely, I can. Because what I knew is I knew I had the ability to learn. And to your point, I had to reach out and determine who was I always go into a new role looking for my trusted advisor. That's the person I can ask the stupid questions to and not have it be repeated across the workforce. So I found him, and I said, David, you're going to teach me how to build airplanes. And so on the weekends, there you'd find me in my jeans crawling through airplanes, learning how we built them. Because I had to represent these folks. And to your point, there are 8,000 people at that point looking at me to ensure they had, a job and food for their families and college tuitions and mortgage payments, those kinds of things. And so it was really just saying, look, I don't know this role, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to represent this workforce as best as I can, but I'm going to also do my homework. So I spent my weekends crawling through airplanes. I spent my weekends reading and studying and really learning the depths of it, spending time with our customers so I could really understand it. And so we were successful in it.
How do you promote yourself to the bosses, promote yourself to people without being over the top, without hurting somebody else, without comparing yourself with somebody else in the company? Because trying to promote ourselves, trying to say, oh, I did this and I did this, it's not always comfortable.
It's not comfortable, yeah. So first of all, I 100% agree with what you said, which is it's not about I'm better than somebody else, it's about the skills that you bring to the table. But I also think about the first speaker that we got a brief opportunity to listen to. There are some people who are just really good advocates for themselves, and you are competing against that. And I firmly believe that men and women are different and that we don't talk about that enough. I generally think women are not as good at advocating about themselves as men are. It is just a truth that I have seen in my career. And so you need to really be confident in where you have skills, and you need to be able to show those skills and to talk about those skills. It's an important part of moving forward in your career. But be confident about those skills that you have, and don't showcase skills that you don't have. A lot of times you see people who think they're great at everything, and then you just sort of lose all credibility there. So just be really, where women I think can shine is we are a little bit sometimes more reflective and do understand our own skill set, I think a little bit more maybe intimately than sometimes men can. And so use that to your advantage to really make sure that you are advocating the skills that you really can bring to the table that are unique and different from anyone around you, men or women.
And I think there is a certain confidence and swagger you have to show, whether you have all the skills in your toolkit right at that minute or not. I mean, people want to depend on and give opportunities to the people that believe in themselves. To have that swagger and be boastful where you have no substance, I don't believe that faking it until you make it will work. I think you've got to have substance and know. You said, I don't know how to build a plane, but I'm gonna learn how. Isn't that what you said? But you were confident in your ability to learn. She had that swagger. She had the fake it till you make it, but she was also authentic in the part that I'm vulnerable here in this area, and I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna learn it faster than you've ever seen anybody learn it before. That's the swagger, but it's not being overly confident in things that you have no no skill set for at all. And so it kind of, does that make sense? It
Yes.
kind of depends. And then you have to work really hard to fill your toolkit quickly to make sure that you really are exactly where you thought you would be.